Hey boys and girls, welcome back. Finally getting a chance to put this on video here. What we're doing here today is continuing our dry dropper series, working more on the dries over the next couple flies. What we have here is Lance Egan's corn-fed caddis. The way he describes this is super buggy, tons of CDC, almost too much. As far as it being expensive to do, I've been going through a lot of CDC, tying a dozen or so of these up, and I've been testing them and just trying to see what kind of variations I can make. The latest variations that that I've done over the last couple days is when we've been seeing some caddis on the stream finally, and they're not completely tan. This one would be just tan. This one, what I've done is combined a couple of CDC colors, and kind of as far as what we have on the bug here. This is Yufeng barbless, size 14. As far as the hook goes, this is the Spectra Blend dry fly dubbing that we're using for the body. We have some Antron that we're using for the post, which is just for the fisherman. Basically, it doesn't really add to the flotation. And CDC feathers here from Orbis. These ones are tan, and the other ones I have are these done ones that I'm combining those to try to get that grayish brown, and it kind of works. As far as looks go, the most important thing that you want to pay attention to, obviously, when you're tying dry flies, is this bottom. You want to make sure that that body is exposed, and we have CDC around the front here for the legs and antennas. So pretty easy tie. Let's get right into it. Yeah, yesterday we were down at Laurel Hill and had the whole crew with me, and there were just caddis everywhere. You shake a tree limb and hundreds of them would come out, but we were not seeing any type of action on top. So we're getting close. The thread that I'm using is just Semperfli Brown, just to try to match that color scheme. And we want to start this about 2 or 3 eye lengths back from the eye. Take it back to just before the hook, bend there. And what we have, first thing we do is put like a trailing shuck on here. I have a piece of Antron that I've kind of split. Like there's only about half of it here, and we're gonna tie this in just down below the bend a little bit. Okay, we want to secure that really well. We're gonna trim that. Okay. We don't want it very long. We just want it to have a little bit of sparkle in the back there, so that it looks like a trailing shuck when it's in the water. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is put our dry fly dubbing on. This is always a big difference from when you're tying Euro patterns to trying dry fly patterns, is the amount of dubbing that you're going to use. Learning that, how much to put on. It's always better to do it sparsely. You can control it a lot better, make those tapers a lot better. and then come back a little bit. And if you have to add more, then, you know, you add more. We want to leave the front of this, like I said, open here for to build that head and a place to wrap that CDC around for the legs and stuff. Okay, there. Now you can put anything on here whenever you're doing these dry flies. You know, the body, the underneath, this angle is kind of what's going to be visible to the fish. You can put tinsel on here if you want to. I think when I watched, you know, a video, Lance Egan puts another, you know, wrap of thread around here to create a little bit of a segmentation. You can do that if you want. It's all extra. Okay, so we get to this point. We have our little shuck in here, and we're gonna put the wing on. Now, like I said about the CDC being expensive, a lot of these patterns for this corn-fed caddis uses 4 CDC feathers on the back, which is a lot, you know, especially if you're trying to find a good feather. What I do is I'll stack the brown and the dun together so that you get kind of like a mix. Then you're going to brush all those fibers back to about your body length. Okay, you want this just shy of that trailing shuck. Gonna tie it right in there at the top. Get 2 in there. Shorten that up a little bit. That looks good. And we're gonna tack these down very well. Go underneath. And then we're gonna trim this out. Okay. Now, save those. There's plenty of things that you can use the rest of the, well, it's basically the tops of those CDC, which, you know, you can use. Okay, now we have that wing up here. Okay, you're gonna get a piece of antron. This is white. This is a full strand. I will tie this in right here at the base of this wing, and then wrap forward a little bit. And then we're gonna fold that back and then go back a little bit, just to the base of the wing. Okay, that's all we got. And all this is just a cider for us old people that can't see shit. I guess. Okay. Now we're gonna get a little bit more dubbing so we can create a base for the CDC collar that we're gonna put on. Just want to even that out. Most of it's all going to be covered up, and you just want to catch that little bump where you put that post wing in to make sure that it's consistent. Okay, so that's what we got. Now for the CDC, I'm going to use you know, this blue dun color for the legs because I want a little bit of contrast, and all I'm doing is picking out like a real fluffy piece, putting it in my block. It's a whole CDC feather, and then putting everything in a clip. Now, however you want to do this, I don't know. I prefer the split thread technique just because it's, I don't know, one less step. We're going to slide that in there. Come on. Get that CDC in there like this. Okay. And then we're going to spin this up. Make sure everything's tight in there. You want it as buggy as you can. It's going to hold air, these CDC feathers, especially when they're splayed out like this, can really capture that air and add to that bugginess. So we are just going to wrap this down this base, trying to keep it everything back, pulling those fibers back. Okay, tack everything down, make a little bit distinctive head here. Okay, I'll tie this off. That off. You can see how nice and buggy that is. A little bit of a distinction there. And get your brush. I'm just gonna try to brush most of these back. CDC isn't gonna foul that hook at all, unless you got tons of it stuck in there. Okay, there you go. Corn-fed caddis, very buggy, very buoyant. It's been holding up 2.5 millimeter bead pretty easily. You are gonna have to treat these, you know, with powder or floatant or something like that, but you know, you can still see the underbody of that, which is just a touch darker than what the wing is. Use that brush, blend these colors together, kind of get that grayish thing, or a grayish type effect. And yeah, I mean, at the top, you could do anything you wanted to it. Antennas, these are gonna more or less fold back and be buggy when it's sitting in the water. So there you go. Corn-fed caddis. This is a good one, especially in my area here. That's kind of, I've been trying to get the right colors to make it work right. And yesterday I got a really good look at, you know, the bugs that are in the stream. So give it a shot. A couple weeks, we're gonna have a couple more. I got some new material coming in that I'm experimenting with for some of these dry dropper patterns. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in a week or so.